If there was anything that I could say in terms of what's something that we need to do to improve the quality of our relationships, that one thing that I would say is that we need to develop a sense of empathy, a sense of empathy for the person that we say that we love. And the reason why I say that is because, far too often when we're engaging in relationship with our partner, we adopt this judgmental attitude that really just puts poison in the relationship. I mean, it impacts the relationship in such a way that people actually fear being authentic. They fear being transparent. They fear being vulnerable. And as a result, the relationship ends up not being a true and real relationship. And so, again, I encourage you all to really look within yourself to develop a sense of empathy because your partner, they have a past, they have a history, which is leading them sometimes to do the things that they do today. I know your stuff stinks. I know your partner's stuff stinks. But if you recognize that they're not the only ones who experience the things that they experience, and that you too sometimes ain't on point, you too sometimes come up short and really aren't the person that you desire to be. So if your partner doesn't measure up to the man or woman that they desire to be, they don't measure up to your standards, again, have some sense of empathy. They have a past, and their past is impacting their present. Recently a guy called me and he told me that, he was struggling in his marriage. And one of the reasons why is because his wife had cheated on him 11 times. Some were prior to marriage, but many of them were after they actually jumped the broom. And so when he said that, he paused. He said, my wife cheated on me 11 times. And there was some hesitancy in his voice, some fear that was present when he shared that with me. But after he said it, he paused. And in that moment, what I deduced from just that brief silence was that there was an expectation that there may be some judgment that followed his statement. And there was no judgment. All I said to him was, okay. I acknowledged that his experience was real, his experience was valid, but there was no judgment in terms of me saying that what she did was either good or bad. And the reason why is because I understand that everybody has a context. Everybody has a context from which they came. You have a context, your spouse has a context. And I think if we begin to develop some sense of empathy and really understand that people want to change, people want to do better, but sometimes it's the things that we went through in our past that hold us back, that hold us down, that oppress us, and prevent us from moving forward. And if we can recognize that our spouse may be going through some difficult things, they may be challenged in some areas, because our stuff is not always on point. If we can look at ourselves and see the areas in which we come up short, then we can realize that sometimes our spouse ain't going to always be on point, so we therefore need to give them some grace. If you can give yourself some grace, give your spouse some grace. And the way that you're able to give your spouse some grace is to understand that they come from a past. Their context may not have been the best context. But in recognizing that, they're realizing that they need to make some changes. And you being their helpmate, their life partner, it's your responsibility to assist them, encourage them, challenge them, push them, hold them accountable, but love them as they walk through their process.